All right, thanks, guys. Coming off another winning day on Patreon, 3-2 in our premium plays yesterday. It's going to put us at 31-16 in our last 47 on that site. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and get into our Thursday slate of Major League Baseball games. Shorter slate here tonight. As you can tell, the steering wheel is right in front of your viewing face. And we are on the road, but we're going to go ahead and get the job done here for today. I appreciate your patience in dealing with the later uploads. We should be back on our regular schedule tomorrow. But anyway, let's dive into some Thursday games, beginning with the Yankees taking on the Blue Jays. And that's going to be a 7:07 Eastern first pitch in Toronto. The Yankees are minus 200, totals at 11. We did see a 10-cent move toward the Yankees and movement upward on the total. New York opened $1.90 up to minus 200. Total open 10.5 up to 11. 57% of the consensus is leaning toward New York. 61% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Blue Jays are plus 170 on the money line. The Yankees are minus 130 on the run line. We have Domingo Germán for the Yankees. Pannone, I forget his first name already. Pannone. I want to say Tommy, but it's not. Pannone for the Blue Jays. Pannone's just 2-4 with a 6.14 ERA. Meanwhile, on the other side, Domingo Germán is 14-2 with a 3.98 ERA. The Yankees are 75-39 overall for the year. That's going to put them at 36 games over 500. They're in first place in the AL East. They are 32-21 away from home, and they are first in scoring on average per game. Now, Toronto on the other side, completely different story. They're just 47-70 overall for the year themselves. That's going to put them at 23 games under 500. They've also won just 20 out of 54 at home. And pretty bad covering the run line at home as well. They cover just 22 out of 54 at home as well. One more thing to add about the Blue Jays, they rank dead last in home hits on average per game. Now, total-wise, the Yankees are 41-12 to the over when traveling. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean New York Yankees minus 1.5 in the over 11 runs in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out once again and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's Major League Baseball action. But before we go ahead and get into that, just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Once again, we went 3-2 in our premium plays yesterday, and that's going to put us at 31-16 in our last 47 plays on that site. We have a bunch of different tiers and packages and memberships that you can subscribe to, and they begin at just $1.99 per month. We're doing incredible in each and every one of those tiers. So check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. There's also plenty of free content there as well, including my current record and all those different categories. All right, let's go ahead and dive back into some more games here for Thursday, and all starts are Eastern Standard Time. On deck, we've got the Braves taking on the Marlins, 7:10 Eastern first pitch in Miami. The Braves are minus 180, totals 8.5. We did see a 10-cent fade of Atlanta in the early wagering here. No movement on the total as of yet. The Braves open $1.90 down to $1.80. Total open and remains 8.5. 72% are leaning Braves, 57% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Marlins are plus 170 on the money line. The Braves minus $1.25 on the run line. We have Dallas Keuchel for the Braves, Eliezer Hernandez for the Marlins. Hernandez is just 1-4 with a 5.66 ERA. Keuchel on the other side for Atlanta. He comes into this ball game with a 3.86 ERA. Now the Marlins are last in scoring, last in hits, last in walks allowed. They're also just 42-71 overall for the year. Nearly 30 games under 500. It looks like they are 29 games under 500 right now. They've also won just 22 out of 57 at home, and they're on a little bit of a 6-game losing streak at the moment. Now, total-wise, the Marlins are 4-2 to the over in their last 6 in Miami. The Braves on the other side, 80% to the over in their last 5 ball games. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Atlanta -1.5 and the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next matchup, Cubs, Reds, 7:10, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. The Cubbies are -120, totals 9.5. We saw a nickel move toward the Cubs in the early wagering here. They opened $1.15 up to -120. Total open and remains at 9.5. 51% are leaning Chicago, 61% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Reds are +110 on the money line. The Cubs are +130 on the run line. We have Cole Hamels for the Cubs, Alex Wood for the Reds. The Cubbies are just 2-8 in their last 10 in Cincinnati. They've also won just 21 out of 54 on the road this year. So although they're virtually unbeatable at home, they've really struggled when traveling this year. Once again, just 21-33 on the road. Now, the Cubbies rank 20th in road hits on average per game, 23rd in striking out on the road. They're also 23rd in walks allowed away from home. Now, the Reds on the other side, 4-1 in their last 5. They've also won 6 out of their last 7 at home. They rank 5th in runs allowed on average per game. They're also 5th in hits allowed and 4th in striking batters out. Now, total-wise, the Reds are 34-23 to the under at home. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me the Reds +115. I'm sorry, give me the Reds +110. And the under 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Royals, Tigers, 7:10 Detroit. The Tigers are -165, totals at 9. Not a whole lot of movement on the total as of yet, but we did see a big 15-cent move toward the Tigers. They open $1.50 up to $1.65. Total open end remains at 9 flat. 65% are leaning Royals, 56% shaded toward the over. Right now, KC is +155 on the money line. The Tigers +$1.25 on the run line. We have Georgie Lopez for the Royals, Matt Boyd for the Tigers. And as good as Matt Boyd has been this year, I just can't forget the fact that Detroit is the worst team in Major League Baseball. They're just 33-78 overall on the year, 45 games under 500. They've also won just 14 out of 53 at home. The Tigers also really struggle in their run line plays at home as well. Just 15-38 ATS at home. They're also 29th in scoring, which is second to last in Major League Baseball. They also rank 28th in hits on average per game. Now, total-wise, the Royals are 33-24 to the under when traveling. I'm going to lean Kansas City Royals +1.5 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Angels, Red Sox, 7:10 Boston. The Red Sox are -235, totals 10.5. Pretty good two-way action on the money line. Not a whole lot of movement there as of yet. We did see a little bit of upward movement on that total. Once again, Boston's -235, total open 10 up to 10.5. 65% are leaning Red Sox, 51% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Angels are +215 on the money line. The Red Sox -$1.30 on the run line. We have Dylan Peters for the Angels, Chris Sale for the Red Sox. Sale's just 5-11 with a 4.68 ERA. Boston's also dropped 9 out of their last 10 ball games. They've won just 28 out of 58 at Fenway Park this year. They're also terrible on the run line at home as well. They covered just 21 out of 58 at Fenway as well. Now, Boston ranks 25th in runs allowed at home, last in walks allowed at home as well. A lot of free passes from these Red Sox pitchers, especially at Fenway. Now, the Angels on the other side, pretty good covering those run lines on the road. 34-24 against the spread away from home. They're also 10th in offensive walks and 9th in road hits allowed. And when it comes to the total, Boston is 37-21 to the over at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take another underdog. Give me the Angels +1.5 and the over 10.5 runs in that game. Next matchup, Indians, Twins, 8-10 Minnesota. Pretty much a coin flip in this one, guys. Both teams minus 105 at the moment, with the total at 9 flat. Now, we did see Cleveland open as the favorite, and as a matter of fact, we saw a 10-cent fade of Cleveland in the early wagering. We also saw movement downward on the total. The Indians open $1.15 down to minus 105. Total open 9.5 down to 9 flat. 60% are leaning toward the Indians, 54% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Twins are minus 105 on the money line. We have Mike Clevenger for the Indians, Kyle Gibson for the Twins. Gibson is 11-4 on the year. Meanwhile, Clevenger 6-2 on the year with a 3.07 ERA. This is a really, really tough game to cap, really tough game to pick. Once again, pretty much a coin flip in this one with both teams at minus 105. Now, Minnesota is second in scoring on average per game. They're also second in hits. They're 70-44 overall for the year. They're also 35-23 at home. Winners in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Now, Cleveland on the other side, not so good in certain trends and statistics. And as a matter of fact, Cleveland is 20th in scoring on average per game and 22nd in hits on average per game. Now, total-wise, the Twins are 6-2 to the over in their last 8. They're also 80% to the over in their last 10 at home. So with all that said and done, I got to lean toward the home team in this one. Give me the Minnesota Twins minus 105 and the over 9 runs in that game. All right, next matchup. Phillies, Giants, 9:45 San Francisco. The Phillies are minus 115, total 7.5. Not a whole lot of movement on the total as of yet. We did see a nickel move toward the Phils. They open $1.10 up to minus 115. Total open remains at 7.5. 60% of the consensus is leaning toward Philadelphia. 55% is shaded toward the over. Right now, the Giants are plus 105 at home. We have a great pitching matchup here, guys. We have Aaron Nola for the Phils, Madison Bumgarner for the Giants. Now, Mad Bum comes into this game with a 3.86 ERA. The Phils have won just 3 out of their last 8. They've also dropped 12 out of their last 15 in San Francisco, if you're into historical trends. Now, the Phillies, not so great on the road this year. Winners in just 25 out of 54 when traveling. They also rank 22nd in road hits allowed. One more thing about the Phils, they're also 22nd in road scoring. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, Philly is 6-3 to the over in their last 9, taking on National League opponents. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Picking a lot of dogs today. This could be really good, or this could be a disastrous day, because as you guys know, I'm a kind of a chalky bettor. But anyway, I'm going to lean San Francisco Giants plus 105 and the over 7.5 runs in that game. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Rockies-Padres, 10-10 San Diego. The Padres are minus 110, total's 8.5. We saw a nickel move toward the Padres and movement upward on the total. San Diego open $1.05 up to $1.10. Total open 8 up to 8.5. 55% are leaning San Diego, 58% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Rockies are plus 101 on the money line. We have John Gray for the Rockies, Eric Lauer for the Padres. Now, John Gray comes into this game for Colorado with a 4.03 ERA. The Rockies have also won just 3 out of their last 15 ball games on the road. They're just 23-35 when traveling this year. They also rank dead last in road hits and 29th in striking out on the road as well. That's second to last in Major League Baseball in that category there. Now, the Padres on the other side, they're second in walks allowed. No free passes from this Padres rotation. They're also 11th in striking batters out and 10th in runs allowed at home. And when it comes to the number in this one, Colorado is 70% to the under in their last 10. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean San Diego minus 110 and the under 8.5 in that ball game there. All right, let's go ahead and get into some shout outs brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. It's so funny. Somebody said the other day, your shout outs are sponsored by yourself. I thought that was very funny, because that's kind of the joke of it. But anyway, shout outs. We got to give a shout out to TCGMD 2010. Shout out to my man Bo Dunn, Ibrahim Al-Darbi, Chuck Pinter, Andre Tillman, Blown Stallone, who continuously post the daily plays in the comment section below. So if you guys are running out of time or you're in a hurry, special thanks to Blown Stallone. He's got those picks ready for you in the comment section below. Shout out to Danny J, Kyrie Cribbs, Bill Bruno, Gio Lopez. Got to give a shout out to Glowcap, William Graham, Keith Denny. Got to say hello to Rico Ramos, Henriquez Jr., and last but not least, War Thug 8. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Went 3-2 in our premium plays yesterday. We're 31-16 in our last 47 plays on that site. You're costing yourself valuable information each and every day. You're not subscribed. Memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. But most importantly, I got to thank you right now for watching me right here on YouTube, listening to me on YouTube, maybe in your car while you're working. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information, all this great free content. And as always, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.